I used to think burnout belonged in corporate offices and high pressure careers, not in the quiet corners of my own home, reheating the same cup of coffee for the third time while trying to homeschool, keep a baby entertained, and remember what I was doing before I got interrupted. I thought for sure being a stay at home mom was going to be so much easier than working at an office, but the truth is that burnout wears many different faces and can come in many different forms. It can look like crying in the laundry room, it can look like snapping over something small, it can look like staring at a sink of dishes and feeling absolutely nothing or absolute overwhelm. It can look like functioning but not flourishing. If you're here right now listening to this, I want you to know two things. You're not alone and there is a way out. Today, I want to have a real conversation about burnout, what it looks like for moms and how it sneaks in quietly, how we can overcome it, and how we can step into inspired motherhood again. The type of motherhood where we feel joy, purpose, peace, motivation, and actual incitement for our days to come. So go ahead and grab yourself a cup of tea or coffee, water, cozy up with a blanket, and let's talk about it. I think a lot of us don't realize we're burnt out until we're deep in it because motherhood just keeps going no matter how we feel. Babies will still cry, meals still need to be made, homeschool waits for nobody, and life does not pause. Burnout as a mom doesn't always look like shutting down. Sometimes it looks like pushing through. It looks like being tired but still serving. It looks like functioning on autopilot, and it looks like doing everything yet feeling like you have accomplished nothing. For me, burnout showed up gradually. It started with little things, feeling irritated faster, feeling overstimulated by constant noise, feeling like the day was over before it even began. But then it moved deeper. My joy felt flat, my home felt heavy, my creativity felt forced, and my patience felt thin. And because I'm a mom, I kept telling myself, this is just a hard season. This is just motherhood. This is normal. But exhaustion is not the same as motherhood. Far too often, we pair the two together. Some signs of burnout for moms can look like feeling emotionally numbed or detached, waking up tired no matter how much you sleep, forgetting things constantly, withdrawing from things that you used to enjoy, feeling guilty for needing rest, feeling overstimulated by sound or touch, being easily overwhelmed by small tasks, living in survival mode instead of purpose. If any of that sounds familiar, you are not broken. You're not failing, you're tired, and tiredness is treatable. The first step for me was giving myself permission to acknowledge that I was burnt out, that I wasn't meant to carry everything alone, and that I am human. Even Jesus rested. There are a few reasons why motherhood is so prone to burnout. The first one is the obvious one, responsibility. We are responsible for tiny humans who need us constantly. We cook, we clean, we plan, we homeschool, we soothe, we organize, we disciple, we manage the home, and we do it every single day. The second reason is that motherhood is sometimes invisible labor. You can work all day, but have nothing to show for it. You can clean the same room 7 times and it still gets messy. There's no clocking out, and when work is invisible, it is often undervalued, even by ourselves. The third reason is that modern motherhood often happens without a village. We have less support than any generation before us. Grandparents used to live next door. Communities used to help raise children. Moms weren't meant to do motherhood in isolation, but most of us are. And lastly, there's the pressure. Pressure to be a great wife, a great mom, a great homemaker, a great educator, a great cook, a great businesswoman, and somehow still be well rested, well organized, prayerful, healthy, joyful, and patient. That is not sustainable, and that is not what God asks of us. He asks us to be faithful, not flawless. The first thing that helped me climb out of burnout was slowing down on purpose. And I don't mean abandoning everything or letting the house fall apart, but I mean choosing a slower rhythm for the sake of peace. I started asking myself what actually matters today. What demands my attention, and what can I actually realistically attain? Not what other people expect, not what Instagram says a good mom is, just what matters in this home with my children and my spouse in this season. This meant letting some things wait. Laundry could wait, detailed homeschool plans could wait, elaborate meals could wait, deep cleaning could wait. Instead, I focused on the essentials: feeding my family, nurturing my children, keeping the home comfortable, caring for my marriage, and protecting my walk with God. I prioritized those essentials first. Slowing down on purpose does not necessarily mean doing less. It just means doing the right things with peace instead of panic. Some days slowing down looked like saying no to extra commitments, serving simple meals without guilt, having homeschool on the couch instead of the table, taking a walk instead of tackling chores, sitting with my children instead of rushing them, and putting on gospel music instead of social noise. The fruit of this shift wasn't instant, but weeks later my home felt a lot calmer and my children felt more connected and my heart felt less frantic. The second thing that helped me heal from burnout was creating mini rhythms instead of big systems. Big systems just have always overwhelmed me because for me, they were too structured for the unpredictable nature of motherhood. Small rhythms, many tiny rhythms, are tiny patterns that help the day flow without requiring perfection. For example, instead of a massive morning routine, I created a morning rhythm. Water, prayer, get myself together, quick tidy, breakfast, homeschool. That's it. No fancy checklist, no elaborate timeline, just a gentle progression of the things that I would like to do in the order that I would like to do them, but no specific time frame. Because small rhythms or routines relieve the pressure of productivity. They create margin, and margin is where peace grows. The third thing that shifted everything for me was inviting God to reorder my day and my steps. I used to pray for strength to get through my day, to get through my list. I never prayed for Him to rewrite my list, but sometimes burnout comes from doing things that God never asked us to do. So I started praying differently. My prayer became, Lord, order my steps and my priorities. Highlight what matters and silence what doesn't. Give me patience for my children. Give me energy for my home and peace in the process. Help me to love with joy and grace what you have given me. And He did. The surprising thing is that God often eliminated things that I thought were urgent. Some days homeschool became talking about the birds outside instead of workbooks. When I gave God my schedule, He gave me margin. Motherhood becomes lighter when we stop striving and start listening. Burnout steals the sweetness out of motherhood. So I started intentionally putting sweetness back. Not Pinterest projects, not complicated outings, just small, connected, life-giving moments. That can look like for us reading together on the couch, baking muffins slowly instead of rushing through it, letting the kids stir the soup. Nature walks as part of homeschool, sitting by the window and drinking a hot cup of tea while my kids drink cocoa in the winter. Letting my kids talk, like really talk, while I really listen. When I stopped trying to manage my children and started enjoying them, motherhood softened. One of the biggest lies we believe as moms is that rest has to be earned. But rest isn't a reward, it's a command. God rested, Jesus rested. Rest is obedience. When we avoid rest, we aren't being productive, we're being prideful. We're believing that the home falls apart without us. But here's the truth. You cannot pour from an empty spirit. Rest is stewardship. And when you leave your home to God, it's in the best hands that it could possibly be in. If you are walking through burnout right now, I want you to hear me. Motherhood is not a test that you are failing. It's a calling that you are growing into. And burnout doesn't mean you're weak. It means that you've been strong for too long without support. So give yourself permission to slow down. Protect your peace. Invite God into your days and create those tiny pockets of sweetness that make motherhood lighter. I hope that you enjoyed this video and found it to be encouraging. If so, I hope that you would also give it a thumbs up and like this video. And also stick around. I share more on intentional, faithful motherhood and biblical homemaking, slow living with purpose, homemaking inspiration, and motherhood motivation. So subscribe to this channel. I would love to have you here, but also share with another mom who might need it today. Thank you so much for watching this video and being here, and happy homemaking.